Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. The internal working group of the Reserve Bank of India recommended that corporates can now start their own bank. Raghuram Rajan, the former governor of RBI, Viral Acharya, the former deputy governor of RBI, said that, Baba, this is a bombshell. Let us understand why. The second topic that I have is from Uttar Pradesh. The Uttar Pradesh government was planning to launch a bill, planning to put up a bill called the Prohibition of Unlawful Conversion Bill 2020. The bill said that you cannot convert for marriage. Now, very ironically, the Allahabad court yesterday passed a judgment. And in their judgment, they said that the right to live with a person of choice, irrespective of religion, is intrinsic to the right to life and personal liberties. The Allahabad court said exactly the reverse and said, Baba, listen, marriage is a personal decision. Courts should not be interfering in this. Let's deep dive into both these issues and let's get right into the show. The RBI's working group came out with an idea. They said, why not have corporates investing in banks? Good idea, I said, let's corporate make their banks. Raghuram Rajan and Viral Acharya, former governor and deputy governor of RBI, said, it's a bombshell. Are you crazy? They said, what's wrong with you? You see, the story is like this. I am a company. Okay, I run my business. Now, I start my own bank. I start my own bank, and in my bank, it is not all my money. I collect money from you. I collect money from him. I collect money from him. I collect money from all of you and put that in the bank. We all go and deposit our monies in the bank. No? So likewise, we collect money from the bank. Then as a company, I am free to use that money and borrow the money from my own bank. मेरे को कौन पूछने वाला है? Who is going to look into my documents? Who is going to ask me questions? And we are expecting RBI to be the regulatory body. We saw what RBI did to PMC. RBI will figure out that something has gone wrong after 15 years. And then, like I always say, oops, sorry, moratorium, close everything, bank band kar do. Now, Raghuram Rajan and Viral Acharya said, this is not on. You can't have a banker also be the borrower from the same bank. My bank, I take money from the entire society and then I start borrowing from my own bank and then I do what I want with the money. If something goes wrong, where will be the government go and correct all these wrongs? And the fact is, like we all know, RBI has shown its track record as to how much it can monitor and how much it can regulate and all. वो सब track record देखा है सबने. So what is the logic behind such a recommendation? What one gets surprised is what exactly is RBI thinking? And for who is RBI's thinking? I mean, this is not rocket science. You don't require economists to come and say that, companies or businessmen or corporates should not start their bank. The question here is, our foremost banking regulators, if this is the way they are thinking about banking and the way they are going to take banking and make banking happen in India, what worries me is that there is a basic flaw in our regulator, in the thinking of our regulator. And like my first question, who is this regulator thinking for? Are they thinking for the people and their money, or are they thinking for corporates? Are they making strategies to help corporates get the rich get richer? Or are they making strategies to ensure, especially after the blunder of PMC and other banks, now that Lakshmi Vilas Bank, are they making strategies for to ensure such things don't happen? Or are they making more strategies to help people like DHFL who had frauded them in Yes Bank and others? Are they doing that? If this is the way they are thinking, God save RBI, God save our banking system, and God save our money. If you remember, the Uttar Pradesh government was proposing or was planning to propose a bill called the Prohibition of Unlawful Conversion Bill of 2020. And this bill would treat religious conversion, especially converting for marriage, as a crime, and the person would go behind bars for 10 years and the marriage could be dissolved. Now, this was what was happening, and a lot of people were very apprehensive about it, because the bill, the way it was, the draft bill. So, I mean, it's a draft bill. One doesn't know whether that would have been the final bill, but all the same, for the sake of discussion, the draft bill was looking very weird. Because according to the draft bill, if two people are getting married from different faiths, and if anybody goes and complains saying that the lady is getting married, who's getting married will be converted after the marriage, there could be a police case. The police could initiate an investigation, and if the police finds, or the police feels, or the police even states that the lady is getting married for conversion, the marriage could be dissolved and the groom could be picked up and put behind bars for 10 years. Weird, isn't it? Because come to think of it, interfaith marriage in India has problems. No two families can ever, no two families normally in India, even today, are comfortable. I mean, it's an interfaith marriage is not a comfortable marriage scenario. Families are normally not happy with their wards getting married in another faith. So, in this case, if a bride's father goes and complains, or father, uncle, cousin, second cousin, fourth cousin goes and complains to the police station saying that, oh, this girl is being married just to convert her, so the groom would have been put behind bars if a police investigates, and normally the police investigates, and we all know what the investigation normally is all about. So, this is the case. We were all worried about it. Yesterday, the High Court of Allahabad passed a judgment. You know what is good about this judgment? What is good about this judgment is it not only passed a judgment, it also said that the earlier judgment that the same court had passed was actually not right. This same Allahabad court, if you remember, had once given a judgment that religious conversion per se for contracting a marriage was prohibited, and the said marriage has no sanctity in law. The court had said that if you are getting marriage and you are converting purely because it is part of the contract of the marriage, that you convert only then will I marry you, then that marriage stands null and void. It has got no sanctity. This is what Allahabad court had said. Now, a bench with Justice Vivek Agrawal and Justice Pankaj Naqvi corrected this judgment. What they said is, none of these judgments with the issue of life and liberty of two matured individuals in choosing a partner of their right to freedom of choice as to with whom they would like to live. We hold the judgment in Noor Jahan and Priyanshi's was not laying good law. Noor Jahan and Priyanshi was the judgment they had passed, and they said it is not laying good law. What they said is, technically, in lucid language, they said that is not the right way to put up law. Two individuals getting married with each other is their choice. If they are consenting adults, they get married with each other is 100% their choice, and it is part of their personal liberty. So, this is what the court said, and I thought that was a very, very fair decision made by the Allahabad court. One of the biggest agents of communal rights in India have been this concept of interfaith marriage. I am deliberately not using the word love jihad here. I am deliberately not using the word love jihad is because neither has the government of Uttar Pradesh used the word love jihad in their proposed draft, nor has the court used the word love jihad. So I also am not using the word love jihad. But fueling this hate using interfaith marriages can cause serious harm to our fabric of secularism. And that is definitely harmful for our country. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.